Very good morning, students. I have started haloalkane and haloarenes. I have completed the methods of preparation as well as the physical properties of haloalkane and haloarenes. Now, when I started the chemical properties of the haloalkanes and haloarenes, first I took haloalkanes, and there I have explained three types of the properties exhibited by the haloalkane. First is the nucleophilic substitution reaction, second elimination, and third reaction due to metals. Now, in nucleophilic substitution, after the exhaustive discussion of various kinds of the reaction, including ambident nucleophiles, now types of nucleophilic substitution reactions are two types, SN1 and SN2. SN1 means first order nucleophilic. One stands for first order nucleophilic substitution reaction. Second order nucleophilic substitution reaction. Dear students, we have done the chemical kinetics. There I have explained rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactants. Used in the rate law expression is the order of reaction. Rate of reaction depends upon the concentration of only one reactant. I take tertiary methyl bromide, aqueous NaOH. It forms tertiary butyl alcohol. It is tertiary butyl bromide to form tertiary butyl alcohol. It is the nucleophile OH. OH is the nucleophile. So rate of reaction is proportional to the concentration of the two reactants. One is the tertiary butyl bromide, it is 3 degree halide, and OH. Remember, this point is very important. The order of reactivity of alkyl halide 3 degree, 2 degree, and 1 degree. That is the 3 degree symbolic representation R3CX, base 2 degree and 1 degree. Why 3 degree reacts faster than the 2 degree? Because 3 degree carbocation is more stable than 2 degree and 1 degree. Okay. And then attack of nucleophile takes place from either side, either the front side or back side, that is the rear side, because of symmetrical alkyl halide. 3 degree alkyl halide is more symmetrical, so attack of nucleophile either from the front side or the back side. Here it is one step mechanism, it is two steps mechanisms, and here order of reactivity, this point is very important, is the, you can say, primary, secondary and tertiary. So far as attack of nucleophile takes place from back side due to lack of steric hindrance. These are the differences between SN1 and SN2. Further difference is that in case of SN1 mechanism, see here, the 6th point is first carbocation is formed, followed by nucleophilic attack. In this case, in case of the SN2, instead of carbocation, transition state is formed. Transition state is formed before the products. So next step is, next point of difference is, now in case of the halide, always iodide is more reactive than bromide, then chloride, and then fluoride. Why iodide is more reactive? Because of greater size and good cleavage. Greater size and better cleavage. Because of iodine is the stronger nucleophile. Chahe SN1, whether it is SN1 or whether it is SN2, in the same order, in this case Ri, RBr, RCl and Ri. Now Next is the stereo mechanism. In this case, this is the R and R, and this is the bromine, or you can say any halogen. Attack of nucleophile either from the back side or attack of nucleophile either from the front side. Therefore, in this case, first of all, if the nucleophile attacks either from the back side or the front side, then the CR, R and R, it is positive carbocation is formed, and that is the positive. X is out, halide is out now. Now this is a better place for, you can see, attack of the nucleophile in this case. So it is the step 1. In step A and B, now R and R, which is the positive. If nucleophile attacks from this side or from the front side, then inversion as well as retention takes place. It is actually inversion, and X is there. This is the nucleophile, sorry, it is the nucleophile. Inversion plus CR and R, it is the retention, it is the nucleophile. So 50% inversion and 50% retention is called racemic mixture or racemization. Is racemic mixture or it is the racemization. So this is called as inversion, and this is called as, what is that? Retention. But in this case of the SN2 mechanisms, SN2, attack of nucleophile only from the back side. X is there, and this is the nucleophile. So what the state is formed? Transition state is formed. It is the nucleophile, it is the intermediate transition state. Transition form. Finally, X will be out and CH3 and nucleophile. So point is very important, it is the retention, not the inversion. Sorry, it is the inversion takes place, not the retention. In SN2, inversion of configuration takes place, that is known as Walden inversion. Walden inversion, or in case of inversion as well as retention, so such compound is optically active, optically inactive, because of 50% dextro and 50% LIGO. So this phenomenon is known as enantiomerism. Enantiomerism. But in case of the SN2, only inversion takes place. In case of the SN1, inversion as well as retention takes place. This is all about the difference between SN1 and SN2 reaction mechanism. I hope it is clear to all of you. May I proceed to the further part of the reaction? Is the second type of the reaction is the elimination reaction. Elimination reaction. Elimination reaction means alpha beta elimination. Alpha beta elimination. So second category is the elimination reaction, and in elimination there is possibility of two types of the alkene. One is the major alkene and other is the minor alkene. So how to distinguish between major and minor alkene? You remember Sajiff rule. Alexander Jadczewski Sajiff in 1875 executed a rule which is known as Sajiff rule. Write down, according to this rule, Sajiff rule, elimination of alkyl halides with alcoholic NaOH or KOH or ETONA, sodium ethoxide with alcohol, takes place in such a way that heavily alkylated alkene is formed and considered as major alkene, and lesser alkylated alkene is considered as the minor alkene. Alkylated alkene is taken as minor alkene. This is known as Sajiff rule. Actually, this rule explains if there is possibility of two alkene, then how can you distinguish between major and the minor alkene? Then you remember in a previous class there hyperconjugation effect. With respect to carbon-carbon double bond, more the alkylated, more the number of alkyl groups. With respect to carbon-carbon double bond, heavier the alkylated alkene and considered as the major alkene. So more the number of alpha hydrogen with respect to carbon-carbon double bond, right? So more the hyperconjugation and more stable the alkene. For example, if you consider Sajiff rule, for example, if I say C double bond C, which is like this, if you are getting 4R, which is more stable as compared to C, R, and this is H and this is the R. Here more the number of alkyl groups with respect to carbon-carbon double bond. So Sajiff said it is minor and it is the major. More the number of alkyl group, 1R, 2R, 3R and 4R. Here 1, 2 and 3, only this is the 3R. So this is major alkene and this is the minor alkene. For example, if I say 2-bromopentane, dear students, for example here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2-bromo, CH3, CS2, CS2 and what is that? Is made to react with alcoholic NaOH or KOH. With respect to this bromine, this carbon is alpha, this is beta, and this is beta, gamma and delta. So we are very much confined to alpha and beta elimination. It is the terminal beta. Point to be noted. It is terminal beta. This beta is non-terminal. Terminal beta always produce, you remember, minor alkene, and non-terminal beta always produce, this is a trick, how can you solve it, major alkene. So if Na reacts with bromine, it is the NaBr and OH and this 1H or this 1H, non-terminal. Then CH3, CH2, CH, double bond, CH, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, CH3, CH2, then CH3, CH2, CH, double bond CH, and what is that? CH3. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is pent 2-ene. This is the major alkane because of this alkyl and this alkyl. There are two alkyl with respect to carbon-carbon double bond. Let you see here. Once you consider the terminal, this OH or 1H, that means CH3, CH2, CH2, CH, double bond, CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. As far as IUPAC name is concerned, this is pent 1-ene. It is by experiment, yield is 19%, yield is 81%. So obviously it is the minor because of only one alkyl group there with respect to carbon-carbon double bond. Here there is one alkyl group, but once you see this with respect to carbon-carbon double bond, 1R and 1R, there are 2R. So more the number of alkyl groups linked with the carbon-carbon double bond, heavily alkylated alkene, that is what it is called major alkene. That is already explained by the Sajiv. Alexander Jatsky, the Sajiv in 1875 is known as Sajiv rule to make a difference between major and minor alkene. I give you another example here. 1 bromo, 1 methyl cyclohexane, 1 bromo, 1 methyl cyclohexane. If you take alcoholic NaOH or KOH, elimination takes place. With respect to the bromine, this carbon is alpha, this side beta, this side beta, gamma and alpha, beta, gamma and delta, alpha, beta, gamma and delta. So we are very much confined to the beta and beta. But tell me the difference between this beta and this beta. Actually this beta is the non-terminal and this beta is the terminal. Terminal beta gives minor alkane. Non-terminal beta gives major alkane. The way you can make the right answer in the paper. Therefore, if I delete Br and Na, that is the NaBr, OH, and you take H either from this or that. This is what? Both the beta are at the equal point. So you take H from this point or you take the H from this point because you will get the same answer. Right? Both beta with respect to alpha are the equidistant point. Therefore, first product is formed as, this is what? 1 methyl cyclohexane, 1 methyl cyclohexane. It is the major. Why it is the major? Because of with respect to carbon-carbon double bond, there is the alkyl group, one alkyl group. Let you consider, once you take this terminal H, again same reaction, NaBr and water, but now I have taken H from this point. So this is the CH2 double bond methylene cyclohexane. It is called as methylene cyclohexane. It is the minor. Reason behind is there is no any, you can see, alkyl groups with respect to carbon-carbon double bond. That is why once you apply the Sajiv, you will get the answer, major and the minor alkane. So when 1 bromo, 1 methyl undergo elimination, I mean to say that alpha beta elimination, or this reaction is also called as halogenation. I mean to say, D means loss, hydro means water, D means loss, hydro means water, or halogen means halogen. Dehydrohalogenation, alpha beta elimination, or simply it is elimination. This is all about second part of the reaction is the elimination reaction. I hope it is clear to everyone. Go through the question, apply the definition of the SAGIF and give the correct answer. Now dear student, next topic is the reaction due to metals of the alkyl halide. Categorically, metallic reactions. Reaction due to metals. The very important reaction is known as Wurtz reaction. You have done in previous class, 11th class. Two molecules of alkyl halides are made to react with sodium metal and dry ether to form higher hydrocarbon, except methane. It is the limitation of Wurtz reaction, and usually you take symmetrical alkyl halides. So instead of odd, even alkanes are obtained. So when I take two molecules of alkyl halide Rx plus sodium metal plus Rx, one molecule and one molecule. How many molecules? Two molecules. In presence of dry ether, then it eliminates minus twice NaX, and here alkane is formed. If I say C2H5Cl, ethyl chloride, again I take C2H5Cl in presence of dry ether. Same condition you apply. C4H10, normal butane is formed. I take C4H9Br, two molecules of butyl bromide, sodium metal and dry ether. Once you see in paper the sodium metal and dry ether, this is only the property of the Wurtz. So this is what it is, the minus twice NaBr, you can write here also. And you can write minus below the arrow, it's also correct, C8H18, it is normal octane. So greater the hydrocarbons, if question comes butyl bromide to octane, you apply the Wurtz reaction. Next is the Fittig reaction. Fittig is for aromatic compound, Fittigs, Fittig's reactions. Here we apply aromatic compound, two molecules of the chlorobenzene made to react with again chlorobenzene, sodium metal and dry ether minus twice NaCl, one molecule of biphenyl, it is called as biphenyl or diphenyl, you can apply any name, is formed. This is the Fittig reaction. That is applied only for aromatic compounds. Wurtz is applied for aliphatic and Fittig is applied for aromatic. Chlorobenzene, two molecules. Now there is a combination of aliphatic and aromatic, which is known as, what is that? What is said as Wurtz, what reaction? Fittig's reaction. It is called as methyl chloride plus 2 times sodium plus chlorobenzene in presence of dry ether. One side is aromatic, one side is aliphatic, then minus twice NaCl. Tell me the name of this compound. Methylbenzene, so called. What is that? Toluene is obtained. Here it is the combination of the Wurtz plus Fittig reaction, Wurtz-Fittig. Now, next is the formation of organometallic compound, or you can say Grignard reagents. You take Rx plus Mg powder and hydrous condition. Don't take water. Then it forms R Mg and X. This is Grignard. Victor Grignard prepared such a tremendous reagent. With the help of that, we can get thousands of the organic molecules can be prepared in the lab. So Victor Grignard in the youngest stage received the Nobel Prize in chemistry because of he prepared such a wonderful reagent which helps in preparing number of organic compounds. So if I take CS3, Cl treated with magnesium powder, but anhydrous condition, not hydrous, CS3, Mg and Cl. This is Grignard reagent. Now I take chlorobenzene, Mg and anhydrous condition, same thing, phenyl magnesium chloride, it is aromatic Grignard. Aliphatic aromatic, if I take any cyclic Grignard, cyclohexyl chloride treated with magnesium powder in presence of anhydrous condition, cyclohexyl magnesium chloride bromide, whatever it is. So you can prepare aliphatic Grignard, which can be primary, secondary and tertiary Grignard, then aromatic Grignard and alicyclic Grignard. But one point that is very much mentioned as if in a form of question in your textbook, why Grignard reagent should be prepared under what condition? Anhydrous condition. Answer is very simple: to avoid the formation of what is there? Alkane. So if I take methyl chloride and once I take magnesium with water, then obviously MgOH and Cl as a side product, and this H will be here added here. So alkane is formed. So instead of the Grignard, we prepared the alkane. It is why? Because of we have added the water molecule. So never use water whenever you prepare organometallic compound, which is called as Grignard reagent. So to avoid the formation of the alkane, we take anhydrous condition. Now next is the formation of insecticides. Now it is banned because it is the cancer carcinogenic effect. Formation of what is that? DDT. What is full form of DDT? Anyone? Diphenyl trichloroethane. To prepare the DDT, you take chloral. Trichloroacetaldehyde. Actually, it is known as chloral. Commercial name is the chloral. Trichloroacetaldehyde. Or I can name 2,2,2 trichloroethanol. 2,2,2 trichloroethanol is made to react with. You can see two molecules of the chlorobenzene. I take one molecule chlorobenzene here, and again I take another molecule of chlorobenzene. This H, this side you write chloro and chloro, and this hydrogen and this hydrogen. H and oxygen is lost here. Water is lost. It is the chloral and two molecules of chlorobenzene. What the product form? DDT, diphenyl trichloroethane, CH, and this is it is like this, chloro, it is the DDT, diphenyl trichloroethane, diphenyl trichloroethane, diphenyl trichloro. It is dichloro, it is diphenyl trichloro and ethane. This is the insecticide. Now it is all about the reaction due to metals, elimination and substitution. It's all about the chemical reactions of the haloalkane.